Look, we don't always want to admit it, but there are times when the only solution is to disappear from someone's life. Sounds drastic, right? But think about it. How many times have you tried to maintain a relationship that only hurt you? The truth is, when you realize that there's no going back, leaving can be the healthiest way to take care of yourself. And it's not about being a coward, it's about preserving yourself. If you've reached the point of thinking about disappearing, it's because you've tried everything. So there's nothing fairer than taking this step for yourself, for your peace. And you know what? It doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you someone who is finally choosing their own sanity. Disappearing from someone's life is not a decision you take lightly. We often get bogged down in relationships that deep down are no longer good for us. This could be a friendship that has become a source of stress, a romantic relationship that no longer brings happiness, or even a family bond that has become toxic. The first thing you need to understand is that it's normal to feel stuck in these situations. The idea of disappearing can generate fear and insecurity. After all, what happens if you leave this person behind? But the truth is that when you decide to disappear, you're making a choice that can be liberating. Most of us have an instinct for self-preservation, and often this instinct is what drives us to seek out relationships that are good for us. If you've ever found yourself wondering why you're insisting on something that only pulls you down, it's time to reflect. The reason for your disappearance may be a desire to protect yourself, and ultimately, to love yourself more. When you realize that the emotional cost of maintaining that connection is greater than the benefit, the decision to disappear begins to make sense. Another important point is to understand that disappearing is not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it is a demonstration of strength and self-awareness. Silence and absence can be more effective than any explanation. By walking away, you're not just protecting yourself, you're also setting healthy boundaries. By deciding for yourself, you put yourself first, which is essential for your emotional well-being. It's natural for fear of the unknown to arise at this point. What will happen when you disappear? How will the other person react? These questions may haunt you, but the reality is that, deep down, what matters is how you feel. And if you're surrounded by nothing but negativity and discontent, the best thing to do is walk away. Only you can determine what is best for your life. The first step in this process is to understand that, yes, you can and should prioritize your happiness. Don't feel guilty for wanting a safe space away from relationships that drain your energy. In fact, by moving away, you create an opportunity for yourself. The chance to rediscover yourself, to learn to love yourself again, and to cultivate new relationships that are really worthwhile. So before anything else, the key to disappearing is to accept that it's time to put an end to something that no longer serves you. This can be the first big victory towards your emotional freedom. When the time comes to disappear from someone's life, the first thing to bear in mind is that this decision needs to be final. There's no point in disappearing temporarily and then coming back, because that only leads to confusion. The truth is that once you've decided it's time to walk away, you have to do it firmly and resolutely. And this can be much harder than it sounds. We tend to get caught up in the idea that a "see you later" can make room for a return. But more often than not, that return only brings more pain and suffering. Imagine the following situation. You move away from someone who only hurts you. For a while, you feel that emptiness, that longing for what was. Your mind tries to play tricks on you, telling you that you should give it another chance, that maybe this person can change. But if you really think about it, why did you start to drift apart? Of course, you had your reasons. Often, what keeps us in a bad relationship is the hope that things will get better. But the truth is, if you've already convinced yourself that the relationship isn't good, going back will only lead to more frustration. The decision to leave should be based on a clear analysis of what you want and what you deserve. And don't forget, you deserve relationships that are good for you. Once you have made the decision to walk away, you must commit to it. There's no point in disappearing and at the same time spying on the other person's life on social media. This will only tie you down to old feelings, and you could end up being disappointed once again. The real secret here is to accept that some things are not under your control and that the best thing to do is to walk away. To make this decision real and effective, you can adopt a few strategies. First, try to distract yourself. Get involved in activities you enjoy, seek out new experiences, and connect with people who are good for you. This will help you fill the emptiness that can arise during this process. In addition, you can give yourself time to reflect on your emotions. Ask yourself, what have I learned from this relationship? What do I want for my future? These reflections can be very useful in strengthening your decision to leave. Finally, remember that the decision to leave is above all a choice of self-love. By distancing yourself from people who don't add to you, you make room for new opportunities and new relationships that can enrich you. The freedom of not being trapped in a relationship that doesn't make sense is one of the best feelings in the world. By leaving the past behind and moving on, you allow yourself to live more meaningful and constructive experiences. So take heart and move on. This decision is a fundamental step towards your happiness. When you decide to disappear from someone's life, silence can become your best weapon. What do I mean by that? Simple. There's no need for long goodbyes, explanations, or emotional drama. Silence has immense power and is often much more effective than any words. When you disappear, silence communicates much more than any elaborate speech. It says, "I'm not here anymore. This relationship is no longer for me." And that can be a heavy blow for those who stay. Let's think for a moment about what happens when you try to explain your reasons for disappearing. Often you end up in a cycle of discussion that leads nowhere. The other person may not understand, may try to convince you otherwise, or even create a drama that only pulls you down further. On the other hand, by opting for silence, you put yourself in a position of control. You decide what's best for you, and that requires no explanation. Silence is a way of protecting yourself emotionally, of avoiding unnecessary and often painful arguments. Of course, when you choose silence, you may face a certain amount of discomfort. Your mind may start asking you questions. What if the person misses me? What if they get upset? What if? The truth is that these worries only take you away from what really matters, your peace of mind. And remember, it's not your responsibility to manage other people's emotions. You've already done your part by deciding that you don't want to be there anymore. An interesting strategy is to use this silence to your advantage. Use this time to reconnect with yourself. Ask yourself what you really want, what your priorities are, and how you can take care of yourself. This is a valuable moment of self-knowledge and personal growth. In addition, silence allows you to look to the future with fresh eyes. You can explore new opportunities, develop new interests, and above all, open yourself up to new relationships that really have value. So remember that silence is a powerful tool. It can be uncomfortable at first, but over time, you'll realize that it's essential to your healing process. The important thing is not to be afraid of disappearing, and at the same time, not to feel guilty about it. It's your life, and you have every right to choose what's best for you. One of the most challenging parts of disappearing from someone's life is resisting the temptation to look back. It's normal to feel an almost uncontrollable urge to check how the other person is doing, especially if it was a meaningful relationship. The human mind is curious by nature, and this curiosity can become an obstacle in your detachment journey. The truth is that looking back only brings disappointment and can pull you back to a place you've already decided to leave. When you go away, it's easy to get carried away by nostalgia. Memories of good times can make you wonder if you really made the right decision. What if this person changes? What if I miss out on the chance to have something incredible in the future? But these questions are often based on fantasies rather than reality. What really matters is what you're experiencing now and what you need to be happy. If the relationship was hurting you, looking back will only feed what you've already decided to leave behind. An important tip is to focus on the present. Try to distract yourself with things you love doing. Reconnect with friends, practice hobbies, or even discover new interests. By occupying your mind and time with constructive activities, you begin to realize that life can be lighter without that person. What's more, This change of focus can help you create new memories, which are much more valuable than any memories of the past. If the temptation to look back becomes too strong, write down your feelings. Put down on paper everything you feel about this person and the decision to disappear. The act of writing can be very liberating and helps you process your emotions. What's more, by recording these feelings, you can remind yourself of why you decided to walk away, reinforcing your decision and preventing relapses. The key here is to be kind to yourself. Don't criticize yourself for feeling the need to look back. That's part of the process. The important thing is to recognize these feelings and, instead of getting carried away, use this energy to strengthen yourself. And remember, the future is a blank canvas and you have the pen. What you write from now on is completely up to you. One of the most important parts of disappearing from someone's life is using this time to focus on yourself. Often in stressful relationships, we end up forgetting who we are. We're so preoccupied with pleasing the other person or solving problems that we put our own needs on the back burner. When you decide to disappear, it's a perfect opportunity to put yourself first and really take care of yourself. Self-care goes beyond giving yourself a spa day or buying that item you've been wanting for ages. It's about reconnecting with your emotions, your passions, and your goals. How about taking the time to discover what really makes you happy? It could be a hobby you've given up, practicing a sport, or even exploring new activities. The important thing is that you start doing things that bring joy and satisfaction into your life. A good practice is to set aside time in your routine just for yourself. This could be a moment of meditation, reading, or even a walk outdoors. This space for yourself is essential for reconnecting and understanding your emotions. By doing this, you begin to realize that your happiness doesn't depend on anyone else, only on you. And this is one of the greatest lessons we can learn. True happiness comes from within. It's also important to pay attention to your mental and emotional health. If you feel you need help, don't hesitate to go to a professional. Talking to someone can help you process everything you're feeling and find strategies for dealing with your emotions. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's a brave step towards your own healing. Don't forget to surround yourself with people who are good for you. Supportive friends and family can be a great encouragement during this recovery process. They can offer new perspectives and help you see how valuable you are. Self-care is a journey, and when you dedicate yourself to it, you realize that things will get better. You'll rediscover yourself, and over time, realize that what really matters is being happy with yourself. When you disappear from someone's life, it's natural that some people won't understand your decision. This is completely normal. Not everyone will understand your need to distance yourself, and that's fine. Human relationships are complex, and everyone has their own perspective. The key here is to accept that your life and your choices are your own, and that you don't need the approval of others to do what's best for you. Often, when we decide to cut ties, we may face criticism or questioning. Friendships can be tested, and some people may even try to convince you to come back. This can be difficult to deal with, especially if these people are close to you. But remember, the choice to leave should be based on your needs and feelings, not on the opinions of others. Everyone has their own struggles, and not everyone can see the situation from your perspective. It's essential to keep in mind that your mental and emotional health should be a priority. If a person or relationship is hurting you, your well-being should come first. The people around you may not understand the intensity of the pain you felt or how much this relationship has impacted your life. And frankly, that's not your problem. What really matters is that you made a conscious choice to protect yourself and pursue happiness. If you find yourself in situations where the lack of understanding is painful, try to explain your position clearly and calmly. However, be prepared to accept that, even then, some people won't understand. This can be frustrating, but the truth is that most people haven't experienced what you've been through, and therefore may not have a full understanding. Use this opportunity to reaffirm your decision and reinforce your commitment to your well-being. At the end of the day, the most important thing is that you stick to your path. The approval of others does not define what is right or wrong for you. Focus on your path, your choices, and surrounding yourself with people who respect and support you. As you step back and take care of yourself, you'll find people who share your values and understand the importance of your decision. And that will make all the difference to your journey. When you decide to disappear from someone's life, it's important to remember that healing takes time. Don't expect everything to be resolved overnight. The process of overcoming and leaving a relationship behind is a path that requires patience and self-understanding. Time is your ally here, and it's essential to respect the pace of your own recovery. Often, after the breakup, we can feel a mixture of relief and sadness. This is normal. You may feel free of a burden, but you may also have to deal with the pain that the relationship has left behind. It's natural for the heart and mind to need time to adjust to the new reality. Don't be in a hurry to feel completely healed. Each person has their own time, and you must allow yourself to experience this process. An important step on this journey is to recognize your emotions. Allow yourself to feel everything that comes up. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to step back and reflect, do so. Acceptance is crucial for healing to take place. Ignoring or repressing your emotions will only prolong the suffering. Instead, look for healthy ways to deal with your feelings. This can include practices such as journaling, meditating, or even seeking therapy. In the meantime, focus on taking care of yourself. Dedicate time to activities that are good for you and that bring you pleasure. Self-care is essential in this process. As you get involved in things you love, the pain of separation will begin to subside. You'll discover that there are new opportunities and new connections waiting for you. And remember, every day is a new chance to start again. Time will help you see things from a new perspective. As the days go by, you'll feel stronger and more prepared to embrace the future. What you thought was the end could actually be the beginning of something new and wonderful. So be patient and trust the process. Your journey of self-knowledge and personal growth is just beginning. Once you decide to disappear from someone's life, it's an excellent opportunity to rethink and redefine your limits. Often, relationships that hurt us are the result of boundaries that have not been respected. This is the time to ask yourself, what limits do I really want for my life? This reflection is essential if you don't want to repeat the same mistakes in the future. When you disappear, you begin to understand the importance of valuing and respecting yourself. Each of us has the right to set healthy limits, and that doesn't mean being selfish. On the contrary, it's a way of protecting yourself and ensuring that the relationships you have in your life are based on mutual respect. By walking away from a relationship that no longer serves you, you open up space to build new connections that are aligned with what you really want. Define what is acceptable to you and what is not. If the person in question invaded your privacy, disregarded your feelings, or didn't respect your opinions, this is the time to establish clearer barriers. Make it clear to yourself what you expect from future relationships, and don't be afraid to communicate these boundaries. The people who really care about you will respect that. It's important to remember that in redefining your boundaries, you must also be willing to respect the boundaries of others. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect. If you are aware of what you want, you can surround yourself with people who also value their own boundaries. As you rebuild yourself, you'll see that life is full of possibilities. New friendships and connections can emerge, bringing in people who really add to and respect who you are. This new phase can be a real rebirth, where you find yourself in a more positive and encouraging environment. Rediscovering your limits is an essential step towards creating a more balanced and satisfying life. When you decide to disappear from someone's life, it's essential to look back and learn from the experience. Every relationship brings valuable lessons, even those that didn't end well. Reflecting on what happened can be an opportunity for personal growth and to avoid similar mistakes in the future. Ask yourself, what has this experience taught me? What can I take with me into future relationships? Each of us has been in relationships that have left their mark. Some can be painful, but the truth is that they can also make us stronger. By understanding what went wrong, you become more aware of your choices and what you're looking for in a new connection. This reflection is essential for your emotional development and to ensure that you don't fall into destructive patterns again. In addition, recognizing your own responsibilities in the relationship can be a big step towards self-knowledge. No one is perfect, and it's common for everyone to bring their own insecurities and fears to the dynamics of a relationship. Ask yourself, what could I have done differently? How can I improve as a partner or friend? These reflections help create a space for personal growth and evolution. By learning from experience, you become more resilient and able to face the challenges that arise in relationships. Each pain brings an opportunity to get to know yourself better and prepare for future connections. It also makes you a more aware and mature partner, capable of building healthier and more balanced relationships. Finally, don't forget to celebrate the lessons learned. The learning process can be challenging, but it's also rewarding. Recognize your growth and use this new wisdom to navigate life with more confidence and clarity. You are constantly evolving, and every step you take brings you closer to being the best version of yourself. After disappearing from someone's life, a new era begins. This is the perfect time to open your mind and heart to new opportunities and new beginnings. By leaving behind relationships that don't serve you, you make room for everything that is positive and enriching. The universe is generous, and when you allow yourself to move on, new possibilities begin to appear. Now think, what do you really want for your life? What dreams and desires have you put aside because of this relationship? It's time to get those plans back on track and invest in yourself. This new phase can be a time of self-discovery and renewal. It's a chance to reconnect with your interests, to travel, to get involved in new projects, or even to explore new careers. Life is full of opportunities, and you just have to be willing to accept them. Take the opportunity to surround yourself with people who share your values and are willing to support you on this journey. New friendships and healthy relationships can be a balm for the soul and help you build a more balanced life. Sometimes the act of walking away from someone can bring the right people closer to you. And these new connections can be just what you need to flourish. Also remember that this is a chance to reinvent yourself. Explore new hobbies, develop skills, and seek out experiences that make you happy. The world is a vast place, full of possibilities, and you deserve to experience everything it has to offer. By opening yourself up to new experiences, you not only heal, but also become stronger and more resilient. In the end, your life is a continuous journey of growth and learning. Don't be afraid to leave behind what no longer serves you. In doing so, you are actually welcoming a future full of light and possibilities. The secret to disappearing from someone's life for good is actually to find your way back to them and flourish.